Well, I don't know. It's... These girls think... It's race day. Welcome, race fans, to a showcase of driving perfection. My name's Webbo, and let's get down trackside. Hold on tight, we're gonna go for it. Boom, that's how it's done. Whoa, easy. Surely not all the way around the outside. Oh yeah, we're cooking now. Shake and bake, baby. Shake and bake. This is a roller coaster of emotions. The drivers are pushing their machines to the limit and beyond. Woo, it doesn't get any better than that. We wait for the lights, the revs build and so does the excitement. And it's drop the clutch and go, go, go! Okay, driver, it's hammer time. This driver is an artist and the racetrack is their canvas. Did you see that? Did you see that? Wow! Let's watch it again. Ooh, hopefully they'll get away with that one. What a great start, and it looks like we can build on this now and really make a good race of it. There's the fastest lap, folks. No mercy on the menu today. Yeah, sideways is rarely ever faster, but you do get style points. And we roll the safety car dice. Leave them alone. They know what they're doing. Someone's gone bowling into turn one. What a shocker. Moving left, jinking right, keep them guessing. Lawn mowing as a side gig. And we go down the inside, Danny Rick style. We're on the edge of our seats here, folks. The racers are pushing their limits, risking it all for that coveted first place position and the all-important win. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The two cars ahead are fighting with each other. It's slowing them down. And through we go! That driver is a complete and total. A word has not been invented to describe how complete and total they are. But they are one, and a complete and total one at that. And it all comes down to this, the final lap. If you smell what this driver is cooking. This seems like as good a time as any to ask if you subscribed yet. Your Grand Slam, pole, fastest lap, and the win! Well, I don't know about you guys, but... Welcome, race fans, back to the International Racing League. We've been away for a little while, but we're back at it. It is time for the fifth round of our fourth season here, and we're going to get on with the season regardless, and hopefully have a good race on our hands. Normal race conditions are predicted. We have qualifying followed by a 50% race. My name's Webbo. Nice to be back with you all, and hopefully our drivers, while they be few in number, will be high in excitement. A very polite chat so far. Good evening to Floydie, Ivan, Milan and Bjorn. We've got Bjorn, Ivan and Floydie and Milan all in the race as well, so they're going to brave it out and try and listen to me while racing. We also have Sticky and Unscoot and the speediest of speedy spuds ready to race for you tonight. We're going to talk about the championship because it's been a while, so you might be a little bit unfamiliar. Where are we? We're at Zandvoort for the home of the Dutch Grand Prix. Merckx leads us after Spa. If you can remember that far back, I think something like the 15th of December. Merckx leads us. He has 83 points at the head of our championship, but Bjorn, who has made it today, has 70 points. Unsku 67 in third position. Each of those drivers have featured on the podium. Unsku and Merckx have won a race each. I'm just trying to zoom in. We've got very, very small text on our standings. And Merckx has not been off the podium at this stage. We have fastest laps in there, obviously, as well. Moist, our Season 1 and 2 champion, has 37 points. Ricky Maru, 29, although I believe we've got some rumours of Ricky Maru's retirement. I used to call him Relentless Ricky Maru, but it seems he has relented, sadly. Jeremy Clarkson, with speed and power, has 27 points and is in equal sixth position with Ashtube. Speedy Spud has 25. That should change after today. Hopefully people can get those cars home today. AJ has 21 and Ollie has 15 in 10th. Chuck Norris has 12 in 11th position. Milan is in joint 12th with Sticky. Floyd has 5 points for 14th. Luke Bracer shares 15th position with Nike. Atsu, Ivan and Marco have yet to score for us. But like I say, certainly that should change today for Ivan. After Spa in the Constructors' Championship, Mercedes have 83, Williams 75. Williams could streak into the lead of this championship today with Haas on 67 in third. Racing Bulls, VCarb 48 points, Aston Martin 38 points, Red Bull 37, McLaren 33 and Ferrari have 12 with Sauber and Alpine also yet to score. I hope you are all looking forward to a good race. I will try and keep an eye on the chat as always. Bjorn tells me, Ivan says he's scoring points today, regardless of what's happening, which is a good thing, of course. And Bjorn says, bit of a fun fact, he used to live less than 5 kilometres from the Zandvoort circuit, sold the house and moved away when the Dutch Grand Prix got announced. And since that, the price has actually risen decently. You couldn't really predict that, but fantastic. I imagine a car parking space, if you have a driveway, would have gone for a particularly high price as well. Although I believe there was a lot of fuss made at the time that the Dutch Grand Prix was public transportation only. If memory serves me, I could be making stuff up there, but I had a good feeling about that little fact, so I'm going to present it as if it were true. It's been a while actually for me commentating on the F1 game, so forgive me for a hot minute while I get my controls organised again. I've been busy on Gran Turismo 7 for a heck of a while, including twice already today. So it is a very different prospect for me to be back in F1 once again. I've been doing a lot of VR racing, actually, and obviously that's not an option in F1. However, my VR has to go back for a repair, so I'll be back to flat screen racing again pretty soon. This is Milan. He's the first car out on track. He knows how it works. He'll be trying to get that screen time for the fastest, for the first flying lap here, as we join him on board, and he comes through the Arie Luijendijk box corner, and it's a home race today for Beyond the Ball. Down the fairly short start-finish straight and into Tarzan, turn 1, nice constant radius corner before a quick left-right of 2 and 3 into then the turn 4 of Hugenholtzbot, and powering out then through the now roller coaster section of the middle sector of the racetrack. This is going through turns 5, 6, 7 into Schivlak corner, turn 8, before we go into turn 9. A sharper entry, very open exit, but a quick stop back down into turn 10, the Renault box. And then we have the left-hander of Vodafone box originally. Another short straight with a DRS zone before we head down into the Audi S of turns 12 and 13. Very straightforward. It's a short racing circuit. It's quite narrow. It's old school. It's sandy and dusty. And if we don't have any rain, can be a challenge to overtake in normal conditions. Coming out of Kumho box corner and back into Arie Luijendijk corner to pass the start-finish line and the pit lane, of course, and claim a 109.943 as a time. Milan has set his time. It's time for his teammate Speedy Spud to have his go. We have PC drivers and we have PlayStation drivers. We also have Xbox drivers. So it's definitely a fantastic cross-play league here at the International Racing League. Here we go then, down the start finish straight for Speedy Spud. DRS was beeping, it's open, he's third place. Floyd went into second place, and it's next up, it's going to be Sticky in the solo Red Bull car. For a moment, I've lost my live chat. It flashed up on screen, and then I lost it on YouTube on my second device, so forgive me. Bjorn's saying a fun fact, he used to live less... Sorry, no. I'm sure Bjorn was saying something about the car parking or the transportation. Hopefully I'll get that line back up again shortly. But in our 18-minute qualifying session, as Sticky setting his first hot lap. We've got an out lap for Unsku. Beyond the Ball, as usual, playing it cool in the pit lane. And there goes Sticky at 110.5, and Beyond the Ball's target will obviously be a 109 time. Next up will be Ivan Tonsic in the Kick Sauber, looking for Sauber's some points for Sauber. I'm sure he'll be pleased about that. And Ivan was toying with the idea of not racing anymore. I'm glad to see him back in the cockpit anyway, at least for today. Big slide on the way out of the difficult Vodafone box turn 11. It's not always the penalty it used to be, but unfortunately running off into the sand in the Audi S is going to cause an infraction on the track limits. Tries to slow to get out of the way of a driver coming through. I think they're only on the in-lap anyway, but Milan has gone faster even still. A 109.690 next as we join Unsku on board the Haas. And we see what he can do. Well, says a purple sector, but of course it's his first flying lap, so it's always going to be. Big slide going into the corner and held that slide very nicely indeed. Little dab of brakes and acceleration at the same time, I think, there, just to turn the car on the fulcrum of the centre of the vehicle. Down we go into the Audi S once again. And this lap looking pretty hooked up from Unsku. I think among Bjorn, Milan and Unsku, we have drivers ready to battle today, and with some significant speed as well. So we may not have the current championship leader, but we do have some very quick drivers and previous winners for you. That's a 109.0 from Unsku. Perhaps it's time for Bjorn de Boer to stop playing it cool and get out and put some laps in, because that's a quick one from Unsku. 109.0 with 11 minutes and 14 seconds to go on the racetrack. Let's on the clock, at least, for this session. The Speedy Spud in the McLaren on the way in. You can just see the height of those sand dunes on the outside. Crazy stuff. And unfortunately my second device has frozen up on me as well once again, so I'm not getting my my live chat experience. But anyway, Speedy Spud coming through. I'll have to try and catch it. If you're gonna say something, say it very, very short, because it doesn't fit on my overlay on the PlayStation overlay. So we will if you don't write too much at once. Into the pits comes Speedy Spud, and Bjorn de Boer is the next one out there for the Williams team, who are looking to take the lead of our championship this race. And Bjorn de Boer, of course, wanting to make this a home win. No excuses. You should know this layout incredibly well if you used to live 5 kilometers away before F1 made a fantastic return to the circuit. It's going to be short-lived, unfortunately, but with a 24 race calendar busting at the seams, you can understand why some tracks might start to take things and alternate races per year, every other year. But we shall see whether Zandvoort will maintain its place or resume in the years to come. For now, though, here comes Bjorn de Boer, staying very close right to the line, and he managed a 109.862. They are very quick laps around here, but he needs to find a decent chunk of time there, 0.8 of a second, to try and get back on terms with the pole position. That was a hell of a lap from Unsku. Unless I was going to say let's join Sticky, but I think this is not exactly plan A on the way through Tarzan or the exit of the pit lane. I think that was a problem going around Tarzan. There goes Ivan picking up a little bit of grass on the way through Shivlak corner. As Atsu says, let's go Unsku. Absolutely. Good to have you with us in chat, Atsu. Why aren't you driving with us today? We need to build those numbers once again. Heading down into, this is part of the Audi S, of course, and heading then over towards Kumho corner. Turn 14 before the Ari Luijendijk steeply banked right-hander to finish the lap. Ivan sets a 111.493, still putting one wheel over onto the sandy grass out there, and playing it pretty cool out there. Atsu saying had a long Christmas vacation. That is a hell of a long Christmas vacation, Atsu, if you're still partying on the 12th of January. But yes, please come back to us and tell your friends as well. If you do want to get involved in the International Racing League, you should find a link to join the Discord server through the previous races within this playlist on this channel on the description. I'll try and put it in the next few days, but if you are watching and you'd love to join the Discord, please follow the link to join the league and introduce yourself and get into a race seat. We'd love to have you. This is Sticky in P6, just going 0.2 of a second slower, and that was a nice circuit through there, but going pretty aggressive, unfortunately, and way out onto the gravel. Unfortunately, that's not worked out for him this time. Now Milan comes through. She comes through the Kumho Bock corner, turn 14, before out to try and set a lap here. Crosses the line, and that is a 109.9. I think that was the outlap. Yes, indeed. So this is the first flyer for him. And we've got Unsku and Bjorn de Boer waiting in the pit lane, looking to try and get that power down as early as possible to maximise the full throttle run through the roller coaster, under the gantry and into Shivlak. Just the tiniest lift, maybe a downshift if you've reached 8th gear by the time you get there. And we've seen that curb bite a few times today. The Marlborough box turn 9. It's probably not called Marlborough anymore. Turn 9 and into Renault and now Vodafone box corner of turn 11. Powering out. DRS open. And heading into the final sector of the racetrack. But we're 2.1 seconds slower than we've been before. Could be just a charge lap here. Looks like we have... refused some overtake, and that is going to ruin the next lap as well, sadly, for Milan. He's going to be behind the curve here. I'm surprised to see him stay out and not come into the pits. But another second charge lap, it looks like, after that incident. Coming through Kumho into Ari Luijendijk corner. And next up, we've got Floyd Pink here. Attacking the racetrack. Currently P5. And then all there is to do here is just plant your foot to the floor. That felt like he didn't lift, but I could be mistaken. I've seen lots of dust through here. There's some nascent tyre smoke staying on the racetrack from the car in front on the track as well. Looks like Milan staying out and waiting then to see Bjorn and Unsku battle over the front row of the grid, potentially. At the moment, though, Bjorn needing to find 0.8 of a second. 7 clear tenths just to get on that front row. It is Unsku clearing away by 0.7 of a second faster than anybody else at this stage. You have to hope that our leading drivers are a ways off their fastest so far. Here goes Floyd, though, into 4th, gains a position, a 1:10.303 for him. Let's see if Milan can keep it on the track this time. Another big slide. Heading in towards Hugenholzbolt. So we'll see if that has lost him too much time to bother continuing again. He's deploying his ERS still, but it says 1.2 seconds slower on this lap. Now, obviously, he's deep into his soft tyre stint here. They are far away from their best, these tyres, but he wants to try and get a lap in. I think he might be heading in now. A correction through the left-hander. I think that is just an indication perhaps to us that he's trashed this lap and it's back in again. There's time though to get out on a new set of tyres and run again. Little lock-up front right for Sticky. As Bjorn is saying, is exclaiming just how good that lap is from Unsku at the moment. It really is a pretty frightening one. Sticky, though, going purple in the middle sector. But has he got more downforce than the likes of Unsku? We'll see as he goes to cross the line. Will he gain positions? P6 he was. He will go P4 on a 1:10.0. Very nice lap, but unfortunately giving up a full second out to Unsku out there. So Bjorn is 3rd still. Milan is in 2nd place. Speedy said he's struggling around here at the moment. Waiting to see Ivan Tonsik back on track again. Still on an outlap at the moment in the kick Sauber that always looks filthy. In the black cars, or the dark coloured cars, always look like they're covered in dust and dirt very early on. We're only into the qualifying a little way with not very many cars around to kick up too much dust. But Unsku says that's as quick as he can go around here. That's a personal best for him. Unsku said he was expecting to see a sub 1 minute 9 from Bjorn, who says in return, yeah, I'm not actually very good at it, even though it's my home race. Looks like Ivan might have given up this lap as well. I think he's spent too much ERS deployment. So we've got some outlaps happening. We've got Unsku and we've got Bjorn de Boer. And I think that they are close together on track. No, they are not close together on track. So we can watch Unsku's lap for a moment anyway. As a slightly confusing view there, but what you're seeing is the large screen and showing some coverage. It's a nice effect, but I have to say, having spent a lot of time on Gran Turismo, the cars almost look like they're a cartoon on top of a painting in comparison to Gran Turismo. But anyway, not complaining. It's they're a different platform for different types of drivers and a completely different market as well. Here is Unsku then, heading through out of the final corner. Dutch flags flying throughout the circuit. Can he go any better? We'll see him through the first sector, but I suspect he can't better that. A small amount of track evolution will have taken place, although again, with fewer cars, that's less of an issue. And a wonderful run through Hugenholtzbolt there from him. Let's see the first sector coming up. He's faster still. He could get him sub 1 minute 9. I wonder whether to stay with him, actually. I think I will. While he's hot, let's try and catch this lap the entire way through. So the tight left-hander then of turn 11 that leads on to the mini straight. DRS open. Full ERS deployment as well. Monstering the curbs. You see the understeer going into the Audi S. Caught it beautifully, anticipating what the car is going to do. He is absolutely locked in. And we will see if this translates to a new pole position time. It's confirmed with Milan now as he crosses the line. It's another faster lap then from Unsku. Tremendous run from him. Bjorn de Boer is going 0.7 of a second faster. He needs every bit of that to clear Milan. Here we go. It's going to be super tight for second. And Bjorn gets pole on a 108.939 out of nowhere in the final sector. What a final lap from Bjorn de Boer. I cannot believe it. And I think he's probably shocked too. Wow. Incredible run from Bjorn de Boer. Behind him, Unsku, Milan, Sticky, Floyd Pink and Speedy. Let's see what Speedy can do while we bask in Bjorn de Boer's glory. Unfortunately, Speedy, with an invalidation, will pick up the checkered flag, and that will be all she wrote. Wow, what a run then between Unsku and Bjorn de Boer. They gave us absolutely everything. And ultimately, what a close finish that is. 23 thousandths of a second separating Bjorn and Unsku. And Bjorn de Boer celebrating then with that time. We got 7.5 tenths further back, Milan, who may end up in no man's land in the race, but of course, qualifying pace and race pace are very different prospects. Sticky in 4th, Floyd Pink in 5th. We have Speedy Spud in 6th, and Ivan Tonzik will start at the back of the grid. Points guaranteed for everybody. Tremendous run from them. We will be back in a few moments' time. I'll give you an update on the time for the actual race to begin. Time to just get a quick break and get yourself together. But before that, I will go quiet for a few moments, rest the old voice box, and be back when it's time to go racing. Six minutes time, folks, 6 minutes time. Made that 5. back on track any moment now. Okay, we have a green light. Let me hear your predictions if you're watching with me live. Who do you think will be on the podium? How many finishes will we get from 7 starters? Can we avoid a safety car, do we think? Let's wait and see then for our fantastic drivers here who want to get points for that championship. Can Williams take the lead of the championship? That's the plan. It's 5 lights on. The revs are building. And it's dropped the clutch. And go, go, go. A good start initially from our drivers, and it's Unsku initially right into the inside line of the Tarzan corner and taking the lane away from Bjorn de Boer, but it's Milan who streaks into the early lead thanks to those shenanigans between Unsku and Bjorn de Boer, the hot favourites for the win today. But Sticky is in 4th place. Let's check out what tyres the drivers have put on. It's soft tyres for Milan and Unsku. Bjorn de Boer going with a different strategy, the main strategy in the field, which is to start on the medium tyres. And let's see if they will stay close together for the start of this race. It's 36 laps around the Zandvoort circuit, and Milan taking that early lead. Sticky in 4th, Floyd Pink in 5th, Speedy is in 6th, and Ivan Tonsik's hanging on at the back there in the Kick-Sauber and hoping to get a full race out of this one. In we go into the Audi S corner, and it's 1, 2, 3. It's Milan, Unsku, and Bjorn de Boer. Bjorn will be trying to hang on for as long as possible here to the soft running drivers at the front, and of course their slipstream and DRS zone if possible. It looks like a good exit from Speedy Spud down in towards out of the final corner. Down he goes down the inside on the Williams of Floyd Pink, who runs it bravely round the outside, skips over the curb but just can't find the room on track, and that was Speedy Spud with an excellent overtake into 5th position then, early doors. 0.3 of a second separating our leaders Unsku and Milan at the top, with Bjorn de Boer chasing hard in 3rd position. Soft to medium or soft to hards? Well, we're going to have soft to medium or medium to question mark. And whether the softs can last long enough to open the medium tyre window is the big question here. I imagine, given the drivers have started on the softs, they've done their homework and they've decided, yes, the soft tyres will hold on through here. DRS has already been enabled, and Unsku is making full use of it there down the short straight down into into 12 and 13, the Audi S corner. Here we go into Kumho, and then it will be followed by Ari Lorendijk corner. Speedy Spud has retired, and he's caused a safety car in so doing. And I thought we might avoid that, as Unsku gets all the wind knocked out of him, and he has to slow right down. What did Speedy Spud do to deserve that? As into the pits comes Floyd Pink and Ivan off the medium tyres. I'm assuming, I'm not seeing any damage on the car. So let's see about Floyd. No front wing change at very least from Floyd. Let's have a look, see if we can see anything cause that. But the hard tyres are going on. Ivan's gone for the soft tyres after the safety car period. So a short burst here, a free pit stop, if you will, for the drivers as Milan leads them behind the Mercedes safety car here in Zandvoort. So I couldn't see what happened to Speedy Spud. I'm hoping he will update me, let me know what just went down, as the host is having to be migrated. So it looks like he's actually disconnected. No, he can't have disconnected. When it caused a safety car, that doesn't cause a safety car. So, unfortunately, Speedy Spud out. I'm just going to message him actually and say what happened. But 6 drivers remain after just the first 3 laps. I'm hoping that that's it. because we didn't need a safety car in the midst of all this today, did we? A small Ferris wheel is entertaining the crowd who have paid to see our drivers here today. And into the pits goes Unsku. Last minute call there, off the soft tyres. So Bjorn is staying on the medium, so is Sticky, but everybody else is considering a change. Milan has stayed out on the softs. They'll last a little bit longer than they have so far, but I would imagine that Milan can get them through to the medium tyres now that we've had a slow period under the safety car. See if the lights are still on. It's quite hard to see whether the lights are on. They have doubled them up on the spoiler on the back of the car, but yes, the lights are still on. On the safety car, we will see if they get turned off at the end of this lap, because there's nothing really to clear up. Speedy Spud says too much curb out of the chicane on the exit, bottom out and spun across the track, and lost his wheel in the barrier. Oh dear. Barry the Barrier stole a wheel from Speedy Spud, sadly. But then we saw a bit of a disconnection as well. So I don't know if he rage quit out of the server, and obviously the host had to be migrated, to use the right terminologies. Safety car will come in at the end of this lap. We just saw race control. So now Milan has the opportunity to dictate the pace. I've seen some fairly spectacular restarts at this circuit, thanks to the drivers not wanting to give any quarter into Tarzan. Milan is sort of at a medium speed at the moment, hasn't really gone for it and isn't really crawling either, which should stop the majority of issues. Looked like he went then for a second. You'll know before I do. There we go. Finally, we get the go-ahead, and there's a bit of a battle happening a little bit further back. Looks like Ivan Tonsik ran the outside of Unsku, probably the other way round, given Unsku's underlying pace, but the hard tyres will be really unpleasant to warm up here, as Ivan runs very high around the Hugenholtz box corner, and it looks like Sticky tucked right up behind Bjorn de Boer. Both drivers staying on the medium tyres that they started on. It's lap 5 of 36. With the battle at the head of the field continuing, but Milan with the soft tyres able to get away slightly here. It's going to be slightly alarming for a few moments as Ivan's looking down into the Audi S on those soft tyres, warming those up nice and quickly. There'll be 2 stopping today, will Ivan, as we will see whether Milan has to 2-stop this one. Unsku's on the hard tyres to the end of the race, no doubt. Tucked up behind and underneath before the DRS. No slipstream for him as we go 3 wide down the main straight. This should be pretty good as Ivan looks to have the best braking performance, but actually brakes earlier, and almost tucks in between the two of them who run wide, pushing the cars to their limit. But Ivan almost profited from those drivers just over-egging it into the first corner. But he's still battling hard. And I think this will certainly keep him motivated here. Unleashed, says the rear wing on the Kick Sauber. Dare I suggest that Ivan might be feeling a little unleashed here. Spud is just leaving a clip in the driver chat saying shortest race ever. So I'll try and have a look at that if we get a quiet moment. But yeah, I'm sure it's exactly as he described. So just to run then from the back, it's Ivan in 6th, it's Flo Pink in 5th. Unsku's in 4th now on the hard tyres to the end, and with a small gap to the leaders. We've got Sticky in 3rd position. Bjorn is in 2nd and only half a second away then from the McLaren of the leader, Director Milan, whose soft tyres will be underperforming now. Purple lap, a fastest lap for Bjorn de Boer as he looks to make a move. Milan needed to defend then for a moment into Tarzan, So he's starting to feel hot under the collar from Bjorn de Boer. I don't think Bjorn was actually going to go for a move, but he'll be feeling like he's being held up now, and he'll see on his display that Ønske's only 2 places away and has the hard tyres. And worse than that, he's about 4.2 seconds total away behind as well. So he has a lot of work to do, does Bjorn de Boer. He'll be trying to think about, do I go medium to hard, or do I think about the softs at the end and basically have something to fight Ønske with 2 differences in compound in between them. This is looking good though for our race. We've got different strategies at play. I think Bjorn de Boer's got the Dutch orange on the helmet. I don't know if that's special for today or not. But Spud was saying he was struggling with setup as well. Not a good track for him. Here comes Bjorn de Boer then for the lead. Good exit out of the final corner. Straightforward DRS pass and nicely done from him. Let's see. Floyd Pink is on the tail here of Ivan. Looks like he maybe had an off-track moment, did Floyd, and Ivan has slipped through. So Ivan up to 5th place. Floyd Pink down to 6th and last right now. But Milan in 2nd place is staying very close to the Kraken on the back of the Williams of Bjorn de Boer. As I say, Williams hoping to take the lead of the championship, I think, here today. That will be helped additionally by the retirement of one of our McLarens. So we shall see. Spud was hoping to stick with the drivers, the faster drivers in front of him, but it didn't work out for him. So I don't know if I'll be able to see the clip here on my 2nd screen. Technically my 3rd screen, I suppose. It's only 15 seconds, and it's the little curb on the way into the Audi S. Got the car okay, but it was the exit of the Audi S out onto the curb and a full 180 into the barrier that took the wheel off. Sadly for Spud, that was lap 1, and it caused the safety car because we lost a wheel, we lost some debris. But look at the gap now for Bjorn de Boer and Milan. 4 seconds they are clear of Ønske, who's actually keeping Sticky in the race at the moment. Ønske has passed Sticky, but he'll be hoping to try and clear him. But Sticky, obviously, will be hoping the reverse and stay with the DRS run of Ønske, and maybe study his lines and his braking zones as well. It's always good when a fast driver comes through the field. You get that few moments just to study where you're losing in comparison to them. And Sticky is struggling on those mediums at the moment, it seems. Lots of tyre smoke going up. Only half a second at the moment between Floyd Pink and Ivan as well. So we've got some tight battles throughout the grid. Despite the fact that we only have 6 drivers, we have 3 live battles to keep our eye on. And they're not even going to take their turns for me, I think. Looks like Milan has almost slipped out of DRS range, the 1 second window. But I think he's got it again because he's re-caught at a furious rate of knots. Here comes the Williams then of Floyd Pink, looking for that 5th place again. And Ivan was quicker through the corner. The better line here on board Floyd Pink as we run through. And good defence from Ivan that time. Floyd trying to go underneath the Sauber in the highly banked Hugenholtz box corner. I shouldn't say boxed and corner, should I? I think they mean the same thing. But then Floyd giving that back up again. Seems to run out of faith in the brakes, possibly, or top speed, probably down the start-finish straight that time. But a great battle between these two at the moment as they follow in the tyre smoke of Sticky in front. Ønske has cleared Sticky and cleared the DRS range, so this is the tightest battle on the field at the moment, and they continue to run through. Lots of medium tyre smoke from that Red Bull. And we'll see if Floyd, just 0.6 of a second away. I think you have to be within 4, really, to make it work. Milan speeding into the pit lane off the soft tyres. He's tried to go as deep as he can, but he's given himself an impossible task now of having a 10-second penalty to pay. Down the inside goes Floyd Pink, this time much, much cleaner. And out of the pits will come Director Milan, but with a plus 10-second penalty now, thanks to that fairly minor infraction. I say minor, but I suppose if you worked in the pit lane, you wouldn't call it a minor infraction. But unfortunately, just to confirm that penalty, plus 10 seconds on Milan's car has ruined his chance at fighting for the win today. 5.4 seconds separates first and second Bjorn from Unsku, but an entire pit stop is the actual truth of it. I think it's usually around 17 to 19 seconds, the deficit for a pit stop. So Bjorn needs to build more of a gap here while he's got a slightly better tyre. He could decide to one stop and go onto the hards and have a job trying to catch Unsku now, or he could run deep into the race and run the soft tyres for maybe 10 laps maximum on low fuel through to the end of the race and recatch Unsku with a tyre performance in hand. No look down the inside this time from Ivan on Floyd Pink. It wasn't taking the place straight back, and we're already 1/3 of the race distance, and that's important for tyre strategy considerations for our great drivers here. So lap 12 of 36, Ivan just 0.4 of a second away. I think, be fair to say, probably enjoying things a bit more out there today. For now, anyway. I don't want to speak too soon. But Floyd in 4th and with his teammate in 1st is showing a great run for the Williams team today. Milan, 6.5 seconds off the back of these two. I don't know if it's possible, but he'll now be thinking about a new target. Will it possibly be getting onto the podium? While the other drivers in front of him pit, he's probably on the best race tyre. He's got 2/3 of the race distance to run on that tyre, so he can't afford to be too aggressive. Into the pits comes, no, it looked like it was going to be a pit stop from Floyd, but he backed out of it. And this is Ivan chasing Floyd. Leading the race is Bjorn de Boer by 5.6 seconds now. I don't think that gap is building enough at this stage. He needs to get, well, as much as possible, but I guess it'd be targeting minimum 10 seconds between the two of them before he pits to try and have a chance at recatching Unsku in the latter stages of the race. It could be down to the final 2 laps that we see these drivers actually together on track, Bjorn and Unsku, but they'll be working basically against the stopwatch for the time being. Oh, a big bit of a slide there in the left-hander from Ivan. I think he's okay. He's going to carry on anyway. So this is round 5 of the International Racing League season. We will be heading after this one. We'll be heading to Jeddah for a sprint weekend. Then Canada, Japan, Hungary for a sprint weekend, and finishing with a double point finale at Silverstone, home of the British Grand Prix, of course. And that will be the next 5 consecutive weeks here on the channel, same time as usual. We've got Ivan Tonzik half a second away only. Let's just check out, while they're in the middle of the track, check out how Bjorn is looking on the circuit as well. He's quite deep into his medium tyre run. They can usually run just over half the race comfortably, 2/3 of the race possibly. Yellow flag there for a second in the middle sector of the racetrack. We've got Unsku fighting hard on the hard tyres, trying to run to keep life in those tyres to the end and hold the gap to Bjorn. Sticky's in 3rd, and he'll be absolutely thrilled with a podium finish today, I think, Sticky, especially how much he's locking those tyres. He's on the same strategy as Bjorn de Boer, and then back to Floyd and to Ivan. Ivan, though, having a problem, causing that yellow, I think. They're going off track, and Milan getting through there for a moment. So no major dramas for Ivan, but into the pits. He managed 11 laps on the soft. That's quite a lot when it comes down to it. So Milan, his target next is going to be to try and catch Floyd at a good point on the racetrack. Milan running those mediums to the end of the race, so his gap to Unsku is important. I think it's uncatchable, but it's really, he's in a race with Sticky, I think, today. But he has got that plus 10-second penalty on the car. So he'll be pushing hard to try and get minimum 4th, I think, today, with the pit stops of the cars in front of him still to come. But as always, it is a tricky pit lane. It's quite a short pit lane entry. Excuse me, and they are at almost full speed by the time they go to brake. So there's quite a big speed difference to manage. This is on board then, the McLaren. Perfect timing here, really catching Floyd for the DRS zone. Looking for that overspeed now. Floyd on the hard tyres, Milan on the mediums. Floyd not indicating that he's fighting too hard, leaving a gap to the inside, even after it looked like Milan wasn't going to take that gap, and they'll go side by side fully in towards turn 2 and 3. But Milan completing the move neat and tidy. In the end, it made a bit of a meal of it to start with, but no contact, and through into 4th place. Floyd might see that penalty marker though and have some hopes of regaining that 4th, if at all possible. It's lap 16 of 36. Bjorn Borg leads Unsku by 5.3 seconds. We are looking at the aftermath of a battle between Floyd Pink and Milan. Ivan has come out on the medium tyres to run the final 20 laps of the race, I think. Cut to Milan then, who is doing his best here with some good lap times, but he'll have been hoping for much more than a provisional, maybe 4th place at the end of this race. Should stay well clear of Floyd, who still has to pit, but he's got 4 seconds in front of him until he finds Sticky, who is very much at the moment in no man's land here. 11 seconds away from Unsku, 3 seconds away behind to Milan, and driving nicely at the moment. It looks like Unsku's just lapped Ivan, and then clearly so will have Bjorn de Borg. Unsku can still see Bjorn in his mirrors. We've got a problem there. That's Sticky off the circuit, unfortunately. Sticky slipped off and back round again with dirty, sandy tyres, messing up that carefully painted infield section in the turn 11. So 16 laps into his medium tyre stint. I wonder if that will be a cause for concern for Bjorn de Borg fans here, who will be seeing how everything runs for him. Looks like his left-hand tyres are hotter, from what I can read, on his steering wheel. Let's ride with him for a little while and see how he's managing the tyre degradation and that graining as they get through towards the end of their life. It does look like it's going to be a hard tyre decision, medium to hard, and with only a 4.5 second gap behind him, that's quite a challenge now for Bjorn to try and overcome Unsku's huge undercut thanks to the safety car. Obviously, Bjorn had the opportunity to do the safety car trick, but ultimately I think Unsku probably would have done the opposite of whatever Bjorn had elected to do at the safety car. So you can't really defend from that when you're in the lead. Most famous example of that, of course, the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. It is disadvantage the car in front, essentially. But it's up 19 of 36, riding out on the curbs. And nothing too dramatic happening for Bjorn right now. Looking like it's the car is doing what he's expecting at this point in its tyre life. So I may have been premature, just blaming Sticky's tyres for that off-track excursion. I don't know if perhaps that was just a simple mistake, but it has obviously helped Milan considerably. Sticky has lost a huge amount of time, some 30 seconds to Milan, more than 30 seconds to Milan. Milan just cruising here and trying to keep the medium tyres alive. On board with Unsku. But we probably should go see Sticky now for a moment and see how he's recovering, because he has caught Floyd. He's within DRS range, so there's a chance here of an overtake coming. Characteristic lockups here from Sticky. The reason he lost quite so much time, to be fair to him, is that spin was followed by a stop. So I shouldn't be unkind, really. I should make sure to mention that Sticky did go and change onto the hard tyres with 17 laps at that point left to go. We have 16 to go, plus the remainder of the one that they're on now. And Beyond the Ball leads us by 3.7 seconds. I'm surprised. I guess his tyres have started to go off. As I think Ivan's just had a problem there as well. Another yellow flag temporarily. But Sticky wasn't close enough. In fact, Floyd seems to be pulling away here after his pit stop on the medium tyres. So Sticky and Floyd, similar pace in the cars at the moment. But so far, so good for our race. Looks like we're going to finish with 6 drivers. Not a bad return from 7 starters, but as I say, we're hoping to swell the numbers a little bit, especially with the likes of Atsu taking extremely long Christmas breaks. I think it's time to get driving. I'm sure everyone's out of money and can't be going out drinking or anything as well, so let's make sure we get everybody in. I don't know, many people be drinking on a Sunday night anyway, but yeah, hopefully we can get this league back to where it belongs in terms of the numbers. It's been some tremendous racing over the course of the last almost year that I've been part of this. We've enjoyed some epic moments and usually clean racing, but absolutely vile banter in the driver chat room. So if you like to do your talking on the track, this is absolutely the place to be. It's a tremendous league. Unsku is now 3.3 seconds away. Beyond the Ball has picked up a 10-second penalty as well for speeding in the pit lane. That's 2 for 2 from our hot favourite so far. It only means that Unsku's the only one who's managed to get in the pits without a problem. Oh, dear me, that is absolutely heartbreaking. Not least for your commentator, who was hoping that the 2 cars would come together towards the end. And he's gone for an adventurous 14-lap stint on the soft tyres. He's got a lot of work to do here. He's got to catch Unsku by 15 seconds and then put 10 seconds on him after that. Well, I think that is reaching, but his target at the moment is to stay ahead of Milan. The gap between Milan and Floyd, 33 seconds. So no threat behind Milan and Beyond the Ball. But we've managed to contrive it so that we have our drivers together on track again. That was a good stint from Milan. You would forgive him if his head had dropped for a moment there. Ivan getting well out of everybody's way. Very sporting of him. But absolutely stuffing up his own race, of course. But yeah, the Milan with a great stint there to keep his head and his motivation high enough to do this. And he's in with a shot now of overcoming Bjorn de Boer. It's going to be Milan versus Bjorn, as you could argue these 2 drivers have basically wrapped a ribbon on the win here for Unsku. Unsku probably argue he had it all under control anyway. Most racing drivers would say that. But this does look like a relatively straightforward one for him. He has a pit stop almost in hand. Well, definitely in hand if you count the penalties. But Unsku, a nice relaxing Sunday drive for him as we wait to see if Milan can do anything about staying with Bjorn de Boer. Probably not, it looks like. Milan's mediums are 12 laps old. The only thing left to fight for, I think, is the fastest lap for Milan, because he could go in and get soft tyres on at the end and go for the fastest lap point. Enjoy it while it lasts, because it's disappearing from Formula One racing, the fastest lap point. So come the release of F1 25, we'll be taking that away. I wonder how early it will be for the release of F1 25 as well. And please let us go to a WRC type situation where it is one game and then we just have DLC and updates. Bjorn de Boer, new fastest lap then, that time round on lap 24. That was a good one from him, a 1:10.8. There are drivers who didn't make it to 1:10.8 in qualifying, and there is still a third of the race to go in fuel load on the car as well. So very, very good lap from Bjorn. Absolutely went for it there on those fresh soft tyres, but they've got to do quite a job now to get to the end of the race. Let's have a look at how the drivers are using their telemetry, shall we, while we study their lines in intricate detail. It's got Milan's got this on medium deployment, medium harvesting, and sitting there with 68% at the moment. I shouldn't read that out. Sorry about that, Milan. As Bjorn goes even faster, 1:10.7, looking to try and just challenge himself here, see what he can do. Put any pressure possible on Unsku. Try not to let Unsku think he's got this made. But second and fourth for Williams would be a welcome haul of points. I think Bjorn might still feel a little bit disconsolate after getting the pole position in the end with that pit lane entry, and it was over in a heartbeat. The fight for the lead, having let Unsku get to a point where he'd made his final scheduled pit stop. No pressure, and just trying to maximise every moment on the racetrack, and you can't blame him for that. But unfortunately, it's cost him those 10 extra seconds that are going to mean that the win is out of reach. Unsku could well come in for a set of softs and come out again if he gets bored of running around on the hard tyres. Sticky runs through Heuskinveld's spot. No one in front or behind him at the moment. Running in fifth place, 7 laps deep into his hard lap tyre stint. A bit of pickup, catching on the left-hand front there for a moment. Nice little correction there through the left-hander of turn 11 from Sticky. I wonder if you get the smell of Stroopwafels as you drive past some of those food vans, or it's all, everything just smells of flare smoke. I wonder here at and beer at the Dutch Grand Prix. Those of you that have been will have to tell me. As Sticky runs through, complete another lap. It's lap 26. That means we have 10 to go. And running on out of Tarzan nice and neatly, but spending quite a lot of ERS at this stage. Sticky trying to catch Floyd, 6.3 seconds up the road. We'll join Ivan for a moment. I probably shouldn't say that because I think he's listening in, and he'll be saying, "Get the camera off me, get the camera off me," for a moment. But interesting to see a different perspective on the racetrack at the moment. He's got 38 seconds of a gap in front. Obviously nobody behind, and has been lapped by at least the front 2. I want to say probably the front 3 at this stage. But he does like a very high line through Heuskinveld, and I like to see that. Stylish. How hard is Unsku pushing at the moment? Well, he's not spending his ERS particularly. A little bit, maybe. Always interested. When I'm driving, I tend to wait until 4th gear and then stop when I get to 8th when I'm deploying ERS, but I really don't know what I'm doing, just making it up. So it's interesting. We deploy again. He's on a hot lap here, is Unsku for a moment. So I wonder what that was about, changing his deployment to hot lap for a moment. Is he just, he can't be trying to go for the fastest lap on 24 lap old hard tyres, surely. His main battle here is against his own fatigue and boredom, and that's no mean feat. It is difficult when there's nobody front or behind you to focus on. Obviously the drivers put in a lot of practice to be as good as they are here, so having a racetrack to themselves is hardly unusual, but it's nothing like the pressure of a race to really keep you focused, and also you tend to make mistakes that you never make in practice when you're racing because of pressure and because you're thinking about other factors than just your own consistency and performance. I wonder what will happen around the Toyota Gazoo Racing collaboration with Haas. I think it's mostly about wind tunnel time, because Toyota still run a state-of-the-art wind tunnel, and I think it's about getting access to that and getting exclusive access to that as well. I don't think that they'll start designing the chassis. Dallara take care of that for Haas. Will we see new team ownership? Potentially. Will Haas decide to sell up? Will Alpine change identity yet again, now that they're running the embarrassing customer engine arrangement for that team? I would love to know. I would love to meet an Alpine fan and ask them, unless they live within driving distance of Enston, I'd love to know what keeps them being a fan. Alpine, what part of that brand identity or managerial structure, drivers, or anything. Do you just like the pink livery? I don't know. I find it confusing. I think there are reasons to support just about every other team apart from that one, but I don't mean to be harsh. Beyond the Ball is running in second at the moment. He can see a car in front of him. It is Unsku. He's catching him, but he's got to go through a horrible phase on the soft tyres, and he's, of course, got that 10-second penalty to pay. Milan has been in for a new set of mediums, so he does not have to now pit. I presume he didn't have a second set of softs to play with today. Otherwise, he would have probably come out with soft tyres at this stage. But I imagine he'd scrub them all. So he's gone out on the next best thing, of course, which is the medium. Just looking at the helicopter cam here, I'm wondering if there's any room to expand Zandvoort any further to actually get a decent overtaking opportunity at this lap. It's quite the kind of berm effect as they run up the dune there. I don't quite know where the sea is. I think it's to the east of the start-finish line, just over that point. So you can't really expand in that direction. I don't know if it's one of those tracks that have golf courses scattered around as well, and housing developments and things, but it looks like it's quite open and could be developed into a track with at least one decent hairpin. But I think the investment, I think they've decided, the owners of the Dutch Grand Prix, that they've got everything they're going to get out of it. I hope they're not privy to information about Max Verstappen's desire to continue in F1 or otherwise, but we won't be seeing the Dutch Grand Prix for many more years now. So Milan, having pitted, he crosses the line. No new time from him, but just trying to get those mediums into a good place. So back to Floyd then, with the drone and/or overhead camera for a moment. working the wheel hard. Floyd, 12-lap-old mediums, starting to feel the wear, and he'll be praying that these laps tick down as quickly as possible, and he can get the car home safe and dry. Could have done with some rain today, couldn't we? That would have spiced things up a little bit. I think Unsku has just lapped. No, Unsku has not just lapped Williams. He's not far away from Bjorn. Is catching here. Let's join Bjorn on track. I'll take the telemetry away now. We've probably seen how everyone's deploying nicely enough now. But 1.5 seconds. The only thing Bjorn has to really to press and push for here is to try and beat Unsku on the road, and hope that Unsku makes a series of track limits errors. I don't think he's going to get a 10-second penalty because he's not planning on going back into the pits. But Bjorn has managed to put up a really good stint here after that situation. I would say big credit to Milan and Bjorn. Really easy to let your head drop when a mistake ruins your chance of victory, or ruins your hopes of what you thought was possible in the race. Of course, it's possible that Unsku decides to skip over a bunch of apexes and picks up the penalties, but I don't see it happening. It looks like Ivan has had a problem, and the yellow flags are waving. I feel for him, as someone who can't string a sequence of consistent laps together myself. It's pretty frustrating after a while, but panning round and holding the course should be on for some good points for the Kick-Sauber team today. If you can just have patience enough to finish the race. 3 laps plus the end of the one that they're on at the moment. There was a hint of a little bit of lag there for a moment between Unsku and Bjorn. I wouldn't want to speculate as to who that was. Unsku is connecting in, I believe, transatlantically, so that can be an issue. We had to change our server host as well. I don't know who that is, but that server host connection might be poorer than Speedy Spuds was. Here is Bjorn de Boer then for an overtake. I don't think Unsku is fussed about fighting this. They haven't worried too much about helmet liveries. Unsku, he's gone for the default livery colour scheme. Doesn't care. Doesn't make him faster. So it's just full focus on this. So Bjorn de Boer, can we open out a 9.5 second gap in 2 laps? That has to be stated. It's well, without Unsku running completely off a cliff with those tyres, which will probably do many more laps than they have to do today. Without them dropping off a cliff and him going off circuit, Bjorn is doing everything in his power, which is to just drive the fastest race he can. And come what may, the steward decisions, the penalties are what they are, but I think he'll feel good that his strategy was ultimately a good one. I would say it's more likely that Bjorn's tyres drop off in the next 2 laps than Unsku's do, especially as Unsku is now chasing hard and going round the outside into Tarzan with the DRS. They're catching another driver in front. That is the Red Bull of Sticky to put a lap on him. So Sticky would like to avoid that, I think, if he can. Bjorn would love it if Unsku would just have a little off-track excursion and make this exciting for him. Lap 35 of 36. Bjorn leads on track, but he has a 10-second penalty thanks to a speeding in the pit lane infraction, just probably 1 or 2 miles or kilometers an hour too many as he entered across the all-important pit lane speed limit line on entry there. And that is what did for his race so far. Anyway, we will have one more flying lap after this one to be done with. Round 5 of just a short 10 race championship here at the International Racing League. Big points available to both these drivers as Bjorn somewhat belatedly sees Unsku coming. Unsku back into the lead of the race on track. Now, Bjorn could decide to drive Unsku off the circuit as he gets the inside line, and Unsku, well, almost was collected by Bjorn understeering as they run through the roller coaster section and up towards Skivlak. It could well be a drag race finish between our two fastest drivers of the day so far. Milan is very quick too, but ultimately made an extra pit stop and decided to pay off that 10-second penalty ahead of schedule. Bjorn would love to hold on here, just for bragging rights, just for a sense of pride and the knowledge that his strategy was sound. But 14 laps into the soft tyre life is longer than anybody else has managed. And it will slow him with traction out of the Kumho box to now turn 14. They're in. Here they go, out of Ari Looyendijk. A slight oversteering moment for Unsku will mean that Bjorn de Boer will finish ahead, but the win will go to Unsku at the Dutch Grand Prix. Crosses the line in first position and finishes 9.4 seconds ahead of Bjorn de Boer. Sticky's just crossed the line to secure fifth. Ivan will be following shortly behind, and then we will see our final podium place driver, and that will be Milan, who has a 10-second penalty and an extra unscheduled stop and rescued a podium. I think he'll be pleased to come home with third position after all is said and done, and he crosses the line now for that third place trophy. The only question mark is whether Floyd can bring the car home. I'm pretty sure all will be well here, as Ivan Tonsik will finish, I think, one lap down. And here comes Floyd to finish the race, weaving around, and it's fourth place for him, fifth for Sticky in the Red Bull. And then we'll see Ivan, who brings home the Kick Sauber for, I think, their first points of their campaign in the championship. Well, hopefully our drivers and I managed to keep it interesting enough today. But my hope is that we get far more drivers for the next half of our season underway. It was all looking really good leading up to the mid-season pause prior to the Christmas break, but Unsku was quick in qualifying, second fastest in qualifying, and converted it into a fantastic Plan B strategy thanks to an early safety car. He ran 34 laps, probably 32 race laps on the hard tyre, and finished on the top step. Unsku wins. The fastest lap went by way of Bjorn de Boer, who got a 1:10.783. Milan came home third. Floyd Pink in fourth, Sticky in fifth, Ivan in sixth, and Speedy Spud sadly failed to finish and won't score. So thanks everybody for watching. I'm really grateful to everybody who likes the video and subscribes to the channel. And from us here at the International Racing League and from me, Webbo, thanks so much for watching, and we will catch you on the next race day.